start na tayo. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Everyone in the room na po.
Okay, I'm sorry we started late, 7 minutes late. Technical problems na-cut ako. So anyway, welcome everybody and thank you for coming here to our Presscon or linking to our Presscon in spite of the short notice. Again, PhilHealth is in the news. And we're trying to address the issues that has been identified. We've tried to address this through several these past years. We're working double time talaga to address this, but yet it comes out again. But anyway, in this fight for justice of PhilHealth, we are all here before you, armed only with one weapon, and that is the truth. And therefore, today we hope we'll be able to answer all allegations against us. And since mahaba itong ano natin, may I just request that everybody again turn off or unmute your computers or your cell phones, and only if you're called. There's an icon there wherein you can raise hands if you have questions, and if you're called, then you unmute yourself para mawala yung mga background noises po natin. Okay. And I encourage everyone to ask questions because all our officers are here now para hindi nyo na kailangan na tawagin pa after the meeting. You can ask your questions now and all our senior vice presidents are here. So without further ado, may I give you our President and Chief Executive Officer, President Brigadier General retired Ricardo C. Morales. Thank you. Technicalities.
Yeah. Well, anyway, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here and giving us a chance to air our side. The truth shall set us free. This latest series of events that puts PhilHealth again in a bad light is an annual event. I always said it's about this time. I think August last year, there was also a Senate investigation. Palit ng presidente, palit ng board, and then the executives are publicly humiliated, and then promise of reform and change are made. Well, the precipitating event for this was the so-called mass resignation of 3 officers because of massive fraud. Well, we have already disproven that. There's only one who resigned, si Attorney Kate, who claims massive fraud. And he said that the mafia here ay tinakbo yung 15 billion, which we already answered, and we will answer again today. Si Attorney Laborte is here. He did not resign. He denied. He resigned, and he was surprised that his name was dragged into it. And then my former head executive assistant, si Etrobal Laborte, who about middle of last month, submitted his resignation because he wanted to pursue higher studies. That was his reason. Now, fraud is nothing new in PhilHealth. You know, an organization this size that processes 35,000 claims a day, has 109 million members, and pays out about 2 billion a week. Healthcare is always prone to fraud. There is no healthcare system in the world that is totally fraud-free. However, I think the issue that is being raised in the Senate is that we have not done enough. Well, I said that, you know, change does not come overnight. It has to be, you know, deep enough, significant enough, and then the problems confronting PhilHealth are systemic. Ibig sabihin, systemic din yung approach. Now, we have tried to approach it in a systemic way. We have tried to get an outside consultant of sufficient experience and exposure who could guide us through the transformation process. Hindi kami nagtagumpay. There was not enough support we got for that. And now, of course, the IT system, which is on the last 5 months of its 3-year, supposed to be, so we can already conclude that this is going to be another failure of the information system strategic plan, because there was a previous one, 2015-2018, ganun din nangyari. For many reasons. The World Bank conducted a rapid assessment and they predicted that this plan was going to fail. And then, well, it appears that they were correct. Okay. Now, I think we will provide you a copy of our answers to all the issues that were raised during the Senate. We will back them up with the proper documents. And we hope that you can provide the public with this side, our side of the story. So that the public will decide if we are telling the truth. Yun lamang po, these are difficult times. Even under ordinary times, running an organization like PhilHealth was already difficult. And then we are transitioning to the universal health care, which is supposed to provide healthcare to all Filipinos. And then tumama pa yung COVID. So these are the challenges that we face, aside of course from this, you know, a 10-hour grueling interrogation in the Senate. You know, even a boxing match is only 1 hour. Isa lang kalaban tapos may referee pa. And even criminals are entitled to a lawyer. So that was a really, you know, a very difficult time for all the executives of PhilHealth. And I would like to congratulate our team for holding together. So that's my opening statement. And I pass you on to our host, si Doc Gigi. Thank you, Doc Gigi, and thank you everyone for being here. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, the host was not allowing me to unmute myself, okay? Thank you, sir. We will deviate from our previous Presscon and ask some of our officers to make their statements. May I ask our Senior Vice President for Legal, Attorney Rodolfo Del Rosario, to make his statement.
Magandang hapon, Dr. Domingo. Magandang hapon po, President Morales. At sa lahat po ng ating mga kaibigan sa media, maraming salamat po sa pagpapaunlak sa aming paanyaya at makinig at magtanong sa mga issues na bumabalot po ngayon sa PhilHealth. Gusto ko lang pong, ang una kong pong mensahe ay tungkol sa word na mafia na binabanggit. No? Yung word na PhilHealth mafia ay hindi po nanggaling sa mga taga PhilHealth mismo. But ito po ay nabanggit noong July 2, 2018 sa isang congressional hearing sa House of Representatives. At ang nagbanggit po nito ay no less than General Reynaldo Acup, who was representing then a district from, I believe, Antipolo. Ano po. Ang sabi niya sa amin during the hearing, July 2, 2018, that was my first day as officer in charge of the legal sector of PhilHealth. I came straight from the Region 11, Davao City. I was called upon by Dr. Roy Ferrer to transfer to central office and take my position as officer in charge of the legal sector. So that was the first day of my assignment, and I heard directly from that congressional hearing from General Acup that there is a PhilHealth mafia at PhilHealth, and there are a lot of pending cases that remained unacted for years. And sabi niya, based ito sa intelligence reports reaching his office. So ngayon po, backtrack po tayo ng konti. Noong March 2018, meron pong kinreate ang PhilHealth na Health Information and Data Analytics Committee. At ito po ay binuo ng iba't ibang opisyal ng PhilHealth. At ang chairperson po nito ay walang iba kundi si Ma'am Jovita Aragona, yung atin pong Chief Information Officer. Ang layunin po ng HIDAC ay gumamit ng business intelligence software kung saan makikita po yung incidence of fraud sa buong kapuluan, no? Sa lahat ng areas ng Pilipinas, lahat ng regions, lahat ng hospitals, lahat ng providers. Nakikita po dito sa pamamagitan ng information technology using business intelligence software yung mga outliers, no, or mga highly probable fraud na nangyayari po sa ating iba't ibang areas ng Pilipinas. At ito pong HIDAC, no, kaya mapapansin nyo, grabe po yung pagbabatikos at galit na galit kay Ma'am Jovi Aragona, yung nasa likod po nitong mga sustained orchestrated attack against PhilHealth. Ito po ang naging kanyang papel, no? Siya po ang nanguna na alamin kung saan po yung mga pangdadaya na ginagawa sa ating programa. So ito po ay March 2018. Naglabas po siya ng report. At dahil po na-alarma yung ating PhilHealth Board, ang ating PhilHealth Board po nung araw ay meron pong tinatawag na Information Task Force Against Fraud, no? Anti-Fraud Task Force. Ang bumubuo po nito ay sila Dr. Roy Ferrer at Obed Salvador, Dr. Obed Salvador at ilan pa po nilang kasamahan sa PhilHealth Board. Sa kanila po sinumiti itong report. At dahil po dito sa nakakabahalang information, nagdesisyon po ang PhilHealth Board at ang ating pong management during the time to reassign regional heads of PhilHealth nationwide. So magkakaroon po ng rigodon nung time na yon. The reassignment order ay lumabas po noong April 2018. Nung lumabas yung reassignment order, ako po ay isa sa mga diretsong naapektuhan. I was then the Regional Vice President of PhilHealth Region 1. I was assigned in Dagupan and suddenly I was reassigned to Region 11 Davao. Medyo malayo po yung Dagupan sa Davao kahit pareho po silang nagsisimula sa letter D, no? Dahil Region 1 po yon, napunta po ako sa Region 11. But wala po akong reklamo, tumuloy pa ako sa Region 11 dahil yun po ang kautusan ng ating PhilHealth Board at isa itong strategiya para po sa anti-fraud efforts ng corporation. Kasi kung sobrang nagtatagal na po yung mga regional heads, ay maaari po silang magkaroon ng too much familiarity with the providers and the influential persons sa kanilang respective areas. Ngayon po, noong July 2 nga, ay ako ay nalipat dito sa central office dahil nagkaroon po ng karamdaman yung SBP ng legal at nag-sick leave. So I was transferred here as officer in charge. And I was informed during that congressional hearing that there are so many pending cases at the legal sector that has remained unacted. So totoo po yun. Pagdating ko po dito, nagtakandak po tayo.
Mukhang nakat si Attorney Jojo. Attorney Jojo. Well, that's the problem with the technical virtual Presscon such as this. I think nakat si Attorney Jojo. So let me go first muna and pag bumalik siya dito, then we'll call him again. Let me go first. Wala pa rin ba, Attorney Jojo? Wala pa rin. Okay. Let's go first to Jovi, our Senior Vice President for IT. We have several issues. Ayun, sorry. Andito na ulit si Attorney Jojo. Attorney Jojo, sige. Nakat ka kasi. Please unmute. Yung host, paki-unmute. Okay.
Saang bahagi po ako nakat, ma'am?
You were talking about the HIDAC. The HIDAC headed by Jovi, and then there were reassignments. Okay. And after that, reassignment. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. No? So yung inventory of investigations conducted, at mga cases po ay nilabas po natin at PRESEF at this was acted by the PhilHealth Board. However, ito pong mga reassignments, no, mabigyan po kayo ng background. Marami po sa ating mga regional heads ang nag-resist sa reassignment. And they filed appeals before the Civil Service Commission and the decision to reassign them was held in abeyance based on CSC rules. And it took some time before the CSC was able to resolve the appeals. And finally, the CSC ruled that the reassignments are valid. No? So yun po, pero tumagal po ng panahon. So ito po ang nagsimula ng kaguluhan po dito sa PhilHealth. Ito po yung totoo na mga pangyayari po dito. Ano? So, ngayon, marami din pong mga issues dito sa legal na atin pong dinatnan. No? Dito po sa arbitration office, which is a separate office under my office kasi we handle the prosecution of cases, and the one hearing the cases ay nasa arbitration office. They are a separate and distinct office. Ngayon, we found out that there are around 3,000 cases that has been archived. In-archive po ng office na ito yung mga kaso. Cataract cases po itong in-archive. So we moved that this be reopened. So ito yung isa sa mga questionable decisions made by the arbitration office during that time. And they have to account for this, no, kung bakit po ito na archive. Anong reason? Bakit ito tinulugan o nilagay sa hindi inaksyonan. So nung pumutok po yung WellMed, ang dami pong controversy, no? But the WellMed controversy na involving less than a million was bloated out of proportions. So hindi po natin minamaliit yung nawala kasi pera po ng bayan yan. Pero yung mga lumalabas po na figures na billion-billion due to dialysis scam ay wala pong katotohanan. Yan po ay nagbigay ng malaking dagok po sa atin pong freestanding dialysis clinics. At sila po ay napulaan na parang lahat sila ay nangdadaya na, no, sa PhilHealth. But we have investigated so many of them, and we have issued the temporary suspension of claims and filed cases against these providers. Pero wag po nating lahatin dahil malaki po ang papel na ginagampanan nila para po sa ating mga kababayan na dialysis patients. Ngayon, pero nung pumutok po itong WellMed case, I was asked to step aside, no, because of the controversy involving my office. So I took a leave of absence for 4 to 5 months. So during this time, no, ang naging liaison po, no, based on official documents, ang naging liaison po ng PhilHealth sa National Bureau of Investigation ay sila Colonel Laborte at si Kate Torson. Marami po silang naibigay doon sa NBI. At sinasabi ng NBI ngayon na based on reports that we have read, na sinasabi na pahirapan yung pagkuha ng mga dokumento sa PhilHealth. So sila po makakasagot niyan, no, kung bakit sinasabi ng NBI na pahirapan yung pagkukuha ng dokumento sa PhilHealth kasi sila yung liaison ng PhilHealth sa NBI during that time. And kung mapapansin po ninyo, prior po noon, kasi we were handling the liaisoning with the NBI during that time, marami po kaming napareceive sa National Bureau of Investigation. Dahil po dito sa resulta ng HIDAC reports na binabanggit po namin sa inyo. Ngayon po, check po namin yung records at nakita po namin dito na nagpa-receive sila Colonel Laborte doon sa NBI pero sa iba pong division. No? The one that was requesting for the documents was the anti-fraud division, and they gave the documents to the anti-graft division. So we have requested through our president for the anti-graft division to transfer the documents to the anti-fraud division, which is conducting the investigation specific to that particular documents. So sa ating pong mga partners sa NBI, we are fully cooperating at we honor our memorandum of agreement with you that lahat po ng mga nakikita po natin ditong systematic na pandaraya ay ibibigay po namin sa inyo. And we understand that you have started your investigations on some areas that we have earlier endorsed. So yun po, marami pa po akong gustong sabihin pero alam ko marami din pong gustong iparating sa inyo ang iba't ibang opisina po natin dito. Kami po nagpapasalamat muli sa pagkakataon at nakahanda po kaming sagutin ng lahat pong ng inyong mga katanungan. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon.
Okay, thank you very much, Attorney Jojo. may I just correct a statement of our president, PCO, when he said that Attorney Laborte, nagkamali lang kayo, sir. You said Attorney Laborte did not resign. It was Attorney Labe, our chief counsel, legal counsel, who did not resign as per initial in the news. Yun lang, sir. Okay, so may I go now to our next speaker. The issue of IT is really being played up now. So let's give a chance to our Senior Vice President, Jovi Aragona. Jovi?
Yes, okay. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon to all and to the media people here right now. It's an opportunity also for me to shed lights on the different issues ng ating information technology dito sa PhilHealth. But before I go into each one of the topics, so I would like to say also, and continuing from the discussion of Attorney Jojo, patuloy ng aming opisina, the IT, ang patuloy na pag-analyze ng mga iba't ibang fraud cases, no? To the extent that we have this machine learning, identification, detection, and analysis system. So malaking bagay din ito po sapagkat ito po ay nakatulong ng malaki, no, sa pag-suporta sa anti-fraud ng ating mga iba't ibang offices, particularly po ang ating legal sector. So yung mga lumalabas po ngayon ay gusto ko pong bigyan ng linaw, lalong-lalo na po yung mga hindi totoo o yung ibang tinatawag nating mga malicious, no, na mga balita na nanggagaling sa mga iba't ibang sektor o nanggagaling sa mga iba't ibang tao, institution, or sabihin na natin doon sa mga taong gustong sumira, no, sa katatagan din o sa patuloy na pagbabago ng ating Philippine Health Insurance Corporation. So una dito, yung sinasabi na COA na yung 24 units daw ng network switches na were not utilized and found inside the boxes, no, at the time of inspection at the various selected pros and leos. Ang katotohanan po niyan, yung COA report, no, ng 24 units ng network switches na yan are still in their boxes and unused, sabi nga ng audit query. These 24 switches are assigned to the PhilHealth offices. So ano-ano pong regions yon? 4A, 4B, and 5. Now, itong mga switches na ito ay previously na ginamit. These are previously used units that were packed and resealed for transfer to new locations. Kasi naka-schedule na lumipat, no, yung ibang offices, kaya ni-reseal nila yon dahil sila ay lilipat sa ibang location. As reported by our regional offices, now itong mga units na ito have been installed and are being utilized. Second is on the overpriced PhilHealth proposed ICT project. So let me emphasize that yung aming internal audit report did not mention the overprice ng ating ICT project, but they indicated discrepancies because they are in the process of assessing and evaluating also the procedures in terms of the preparation of the budget. The discrepancy found was the difference in prices against the estimates provided. Ang nagiging basihan po ng prices natin ay kinakall out po sa tinatawag nating technical specification. Kasi bawat bagay naman ay may kanya-kanyang specifications na tinatawag. Sa IT kasi meron din tinatawag na ilan ba yung gagamit, number of users, ilan ba yung magpapa-implement, anong lisensya, licenses na required, anong services na kailangan, ano ang warranty period na lang niyan, at marami pang ibang mga parameters, no, ika nga. The estimate ng presyo was taken from sources na Standard Equipment Procurement Plan Library and market survey them at the time of planning. Nung panahon o nung taon na ginawa namin ang pagpaplano ng ICT project. Gusto ko rin iparating sa nakakarami na yung unang budget na tinatawag naming indicative ay hindi pa yun ang gagamitin pag nagkaroon na ng bidding. Kasi ang proposed budget na yan ay i-update base doon sa current market canvas. And merong standard computation paano makukuha ang final approved budget for contract. Ito ay sa pamamagitan ng tinatawag na averaging, median, at lowest with may konting allowance for inflation. So, bagamat meron kang tatlong way to compute, ang lowest nun ang kukunin pa rin na tinatawag na approved budget for the contract. So, itong tinatawag na overprice at saka yung mga issue na wala sa information system strategic plan, wala pa ho tayong napoprocure. Wala pa hong nabibili doon sa tinatawag na CAPEX na napapabalitang 2.1. Kasi nasa proseso pa lang na fina-finalize at kailangan namin ng isang approval para ito ay endorse namin sa DICT for review and approval. So pag ito ay na-approve na, particularly ng aming board, ito ay pwede nang isubmit at yung mga amendments namin na hindi kasama sa dating na-approve na ISSP ay pwede na namin isubmit sa DICT para sa panibagong amendment. Gusto kong uling ipahiwatig na wala pa hong napoprocure, wala pa hong napapa-approve at ito ay nasa proseso na ni-review at pagkatapos pag na-approve na po ng aming board ay yun po ay pwede nang isubmit sa DICT for approval. Kailangan po ng DICT ng tinatawag na board approval para ma-facilitate po ang pag-review nila. The alleged 115 million pertains to the regular desktop with 3-year warranty is composed of 100 kasi may issue din doon sa mga desktops, no? So, there are 131,341 units at the cost of 86,000 peso. Ito po ay na-validate na po ng internal audit namin. Kasi nagkaroon po ng assessment doon sa mga items na kailangan natin isama sa budget. Yung isa naman po, yung issue na laptop, the 4.1 million po yun na laptops na binudget ng 2019, pero hindi po yon na bili nung time na yon. Kaya ang ginawa po ng aming office ay in-include ito sa 2020 corporate operating budget. So akala ng mga tumingin ay nadoble yung aming procurement ng laptop. Hindi po. So yung proposals namin remain at is na 6 units ng high-end specification na merong 56,000 per unit and then 21 units ng laptop with regular specification na 50,562 per unit and 53 units laptop with small form factor specification at 51,200. Yung sa allegation po ni Mr. Cabading na yung ICT budget proposal na 2.1 billion in December daw po was rejected by the board because it lacks specific detail, ay hindi po totoo. Ang nangyari po doon noong December 15, regular board meeting, the board agreed to defer the approval of the 2020 IT budget, pending provision of further details and presentation to the audit committee. So as directed, ang ginawa ng office namin, we actually presented sa risk management committee and audit committee meetings. So meron naman pong proseso for presentations during that time. Mr. Cabading is confused with his statement that we reduced the proposal to 1.9 billion due to typographical errors. So mali po yun. Yung reduction from 2.1 to 1.5 was based on the deferment of some projects pending completion of the IT roadmap with our external consultants. And another one is, me as the CIO, I did not propose a supplemental ICT budget ng 302 million. Hindi po ako nag-propose ng supplemental pa na budget. Ito ay, the request was made to extend the 2019 projects that were not procured to December. Kasi merong 2019 projects na hindi na mabibili, and through the assistance of the fund management sector namin, so we requested na i-extend ito ng 2019. But then the board decided to have that as the 2020 supplemental budget. So next is on the allegation that our president supported the revised ICT budget of 750 million. Now, ito pong 750 na ito ay ang resulta ng pag-analyze o pag-validate po namin together with an assistance from an IT expert, no, na pinakausapan namin na tignan po yung aming mga projects base doon sa nakikita niyang o ini-envision niya na direction, no, ng IT roadmap ng PhilHealth. Kaya from the 2.1 na sinasabi, may mga proyekto na ni-prioritize po namin. And since we prioritize it during that time, so nag-present po kami during that time to review sana the IT budget, no, na ginawa po namin with the IT external. When the IT department presented anew, so of course, the decision of the board then was to defer, no, the proposal pending results of inventory and appraisal po ng ating ICT purchases. Another is yung procurement ng 50 units ng alleged overpriced na naman na network switches in 2019. So, merong ipa-flash, no, na matrix table. The comparison presented based on our assessment, no, this was made without due consideration to the technical specifications and time period when it was proposed. A judicious comparison based on the technical specifications will show that. So ito po yung analysis doon sa alleged overpriced network switches in 2019. Kung titingnan nyo po, itong table na ito, meron pong column ng for PhilHealth. The other one is Senate Committee of the Whole and the online market search. Ang kailangan po ng PhilHealth for the technical specification ay isang Cisco 2960XR 24 port with power over Ethernet 2016. Hindi lang ito yung produkto na bibilin, kasi kasama po dito yung tinatawag na 3 years warranty. May VAT pa rin. Kasama dito yung pagte-train, training, pag-deliver po sa mga areas natin, and services, no, among others. Ngayon, kung magka-canvas ka, marami kang makita doon, but it should comply with the column ng PhilHealth requirements. So, kung mag-surf ka sa iba't ibang mga site, like for example, Shopee ba, Lazada, and even the router, no, .com, so makakakita ka ng mas lower, like for example, this 62,000 unit. But then, let me tell then that there are other services that are included po doon sa technical specification ng network switches. Nung nag-research po doon sa Cisco online market search, no? So merong nakita nakaparehas ng requirements din, no, ng PhilHealth, inclusive of 3-year warranty, merong VAT, may training, delivery services, among others, no, as of August 5. So the units are PhilHealth, 348,000 per unit, the one in the Senate, 62,000 per unit, and the online market search is 419,946 per unit. But again, I would like to emphasize that based on the requirements and we have the terms of reference na ang inclusive doon, again, are the warranty, BAT, training, pag-deliver sa mga offices, regions, services, among others. So that's basically how the price was computed. Okay, next one, as to the projects, purchase, kasi sabi nga ni BM Kabading, meron siya nakikita na projects na binili ng 2018 at nakita pa niya sa 2019 and then may proposal pa for 2020. So there are no double entries, as alleged. The one or the project seen in the 2018 to 2020 budget proposals, there are entries that may have the same name or same title, but if you look at the more deeper technical specifications, magkaiba po sila. Katulad po ng sinabi, noong 2018, si PhilHealth daw ay nag-embark sa isang network security enhancement and support project. And then pagdating ng 2020, inuulit na naman daw ni PhilHealth isang network security enhancement and support na naman ang pangalan ng project. Noong 2018, ang network security enhancement and support, iyon ay isang hardware security appliance with a server load balancer, application firewall, and security access features. Yung sa 2020 naman, na sanang planong bilhin ng PhilHealth, ay yun naman yung para sa network security or security information and event management, yung CM solution, which is a central security management software. So magkaiba po sila. Ngayon, based on the internal audit assessment namin to improve the process, so there will be now a good naming convention para hindi nalilito. Kasi yung mga titles na yon, although pareha siya, pag dinala mo siya na nilagay mo sa terms of reference, nandun na yung specific details. So that is one proof na hindi siya parehas. If you procure that in 1 year, inulit na naman, and then inulit na naman. Because we have to look at the contents of the technical specification. We actually would like to invite Mr. Kabading to sit down with our IT team to better clarify po yung mga issues niya, especially on technical terms, to review any cloud off-doubt. And for the last, of course, we would like to inform that as per statement of our PCO, Morales, if in case this budget get approved and other succeeding budget, we intend that our ICT projects now be coursed out or be procured by the procurement service, the Department of Budget and Management. So with all the issues cited, I hope that it gives more clarity and hindi na po tayo magkakaroon ng ibang interpretation sa mga lumalabas po na mga issue, especially doon po sa mga hindi naman pong totoong issue. And I would like the people who would like to have some questions, you can also direct or email our office kung kayo man ay magustong itanong tungkol sa mga procurement po ng PhilHealth. So with that po, ma'am and sir, so maraming salamat po.
Okay, thank you, SVP Jovi. Let's go now to another name that has been very prominent in the news lately. And this was all about our financial reports. So may we call on Senior Vice President Renette Limsiaco to give us a statement. Renette? Can somebody unmute Renette, please?
Can you hear me?
Ayun, yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat, sa ating mga partners sa media, sa ating lumalabas sa media sa ngayon ay ang patungkol sa pondo ng PhilHealth. Ika nga sinasabi that ang PhilHealth ay malapit na mabangkarote. I would like to inform everyone that as of June 30, 2020, pagkatapos lang po ito ng ating first semester, ang PhilHealth po ay may sapat na pondo para sa pambayad ng ating mga benefit payments po. Dito po sa record natin, mayroon ho tayong cash and cash equivalent na 48.4 billion pesos. Mayroon ho tayong investment in time deposit of 35.5 billion pesos. Mayroon ho tayong investment securities at amortized cost of 132 billion pesos. So matotal po, ito po ay ang mga pondo ni PhilHealth na pwede po natin magamit sa pagbayad ng mga benepisyo po ng PhilHealth sa ating mga miyembro, sa ating mga healthcare providers po. Ibig ko sabihin po, ang ating mga healthcare providers, ang ating mga miyembro ay hindi mag-alinlangan dahil po ay sa oras na ito, sa panahong ito ng pandemya, ang PhilHealth po sa ilalim ni President and Chief Executive Officer Morales ay mayroon po 216 billion pesos po na pondo na pwede po natin magamit po. Pangalawa po, sa issue ng manipulasyon ng financial report ng PhilHealth, nagulat ho kami na ang ginagamit na basis ng ating mga newspaper ay ang sinasabi government audit reports. And base sa sinasabi sa atin ng ating co-resident auditors sa kanyang email na binigay sa atin po, when we inquire to him whether the financial report po ba ng COA o ng annual audit report ng 2019 ay naipalabas na nila. Because iyon po ang sinasabi na basaran ng mga newspaper ng mga reports tungkol sa financial position, tungkol sa manipulasyon ng PhilHealth. And po pwede po, ibasahin ko po yung portion ng sinabi ng ating resident auditor dito po sa PhilHealth. Ang sabi niya, it is unlikely for COA to come up with such reports when we are still completing our 2019 audit. It is informed that we have not released our official 2019 audit report pending the audit's completion. Ito po ay pinadala sa akin ni Attorney Abdul Nasif M. Faisal, our OIC Supervising Auditor po. Pangalawa po, ang ating December 2019 financial statement, ito po ay presented and approved by the PhilHealth Executive Committee. Ibig sabihin po, hindi lamang po ito ay gawa ng ating fund management sector, gawa rin ito ng ating mga regional offices na kinoconsolidate po dito sa Controllership Department at naipresenta sa Executive Committee wherein yung mga respective sectors po na may kinalaman sa financial report po ay nagbibigay ng kanilang mga feedback. And this financial report po ay dumaan sa evaluation ng ating Executive Vice President na kilala dati po sa hanay ng accounting industry. Executive po siya ng isang pinakamalaking accounting firm sa bansa po. So dumaan po sa kanya ang evaluation po ng ating financial report. And this financial report po was presented to and recommended by our Board Audit Committee, wherein si BM Alejandro Cabading is also part of that audit committee. And eventually po, the report was presented to and approved by the PhilHealth Board. And in fact, yung FS issue on 2018 adjustment and 2019 financial statement were discussed, and the management response was noted by the PhilHealth Board lately on June 26, 2020. Ito po ay diniscuss po ng maigi sa board natin. Next po, ang FS po ay na-submit natin sa Commission on Audit for their further review. Sabi nga, yung management po ay binibigyan ng COA to explain in the event they have finding on the matters of our financial report po. So yun po yung ginagawa po ng ating Commission on Audit. Kung may nakita po sila na kailangan natin i-explain o kailangan natin na ibabaguhin, mayroon silang tinatawag na opportunity na ma-improve yung ating financial report po. And ito po ang sinasabi na manipulation po ay hindi kasama sa binibigay sa atin ng audit ng ating auditor hanggang sa ngayon po. And of course, our financial report is based on the accounting standards ang paggawa po natin sa corporate policies po, of course sa ating COA rules and regulation and other government regulation po regarding financial. And kung makikita po natin, explain ko lang po ng konti ang ating financial report sa pagkakataong ito. Totoong may increase in premium income in the year 2019 as compared to 2018 of 12.5 billion pesos. Ito po ay mainly due to the increase in actual premium collection. Actual po na collection ni PhilHealth po ang nagtulak sa kanya para mag-increase yung premium income natin sa 2019. Hindi po based on estimates. Ulitin ko po, based on actual collection po ang dahilan kung bakit tumaas po yung ating premium income in the year 2019. Pangalawa po, on our benefit expense naman po, dahil sinasabi nga nila, the manipulation is by increasing the income and reducing the benefit expense. In the year 2019 po, ang ating benefit expense ay tumaas ng 24.24 billion or 21.25 billion po. Okay? So, tumaas siya ng ganung kalaki. Pero po yung increase na ito, hindi dahil ito ay hindi namin pinabaan, ito ay tumaas pa nga siya ng 24 billion. Ang sinasabi po nila, that binaba natin yung benefit expense. Ito po, sa report natin, tumaas siya ng 24 billion. Ito po ay based sa accrual of our benefit expense, dahil ang benefit expense po using the accrual method of accounting, mayroon cash na nabayaran po natin, and then mayroon din portion ng accrual po na kumbaga based on estimates po, and portion of that one ay mayroon po tayong claims na sa hospital na sinasabi natin nandoon pa sa kanila na hindi pa nila na-submit dito sa atin sa PhilHealth. Yan po ay sinasama na po as part of our benefit expense, given po that we are using the accrual method, and of course in line with the principle of conservatism on the part of the accounting practice na dapat i-consider na po natin siya doon sa ating financial report, itong accrual po natin, itong claims na sa hospital pa na hindi pa na-submit sa atin, given that yung hospital natin, yung ating mga facilities were given 60 days to submit the claims to us. So ibig sabihin po, yung claim malamang sa malamang ay October, November and December claim po ay ini-estimate po ng korporasyon para mailagay sa libro po. Okay? So yun po ang laman po ng benefit expense po natin. So more or less 2 buwan po yan na claims nandyan sa accrual natin, ang tinatawag natin na IBNR. And of course, mayroon din po claims as of December 31 na nandyan sa sistema pa natin na on process ang claim natin. So matotal po, ang benefit expense ay actual na claims, ang claims na sa hospital pa na hindi pa na-submit sa atin, and yung pangatlo po, yung claims nasa atin na on process as of December 31 po. So kumbaga po, hindi po bumaba yung benefit expense for 2019, subalit ito po ay bagamat ito po ay tumaas pa ng 24% po. So kumbaga hindi ko makikita na ang sinasabi na pag reduce ng benefit expense, hindi ko rin makikita ko yung pag-increase ng premium income because of the actual collection na pumasok sa ating libro. And of course, the corporation is also embarking with the financial improvement, FS automation journey para po mas mapaganda po ang pagprepara ng ating financial reporting na attune to the needs of our stakeholders ng ating board, ng ating management. Of course, kasama rin po yung ating mga stakeholders, yung mga hospitals po natin. And of course, kasama din po ang pag-implementar ng mga recommendation ng ating COA sa kanilang recommendations para ma-improve pa ho yung FS natin. Kasama din po diyan ay yung pag-improve ng competency ng ating mga kasamahan ng personnel in the preparation of financial reporting po. And isa sa mga issue na lumabas din po ay ang pag-reduce ng benefit expenses ng 2018 ang sinasabi po. Ang pag-reduce ng benefit expense na 2018 po ay ganito po siya. Nung the year 2018 December, kailangan tayo gumawa ng financial report. So yung financial report natin as I discussed kanina, ang benefit expense po ay mayroon cash, talagang binayaran natin. Mayroon nandyan sa outstanding sa sistema natin. And yung portion pati na nasa hospital pa, na hindi pa na-submit sa atin, kasama din po siya sa ating pag-take up ng benefit expense. Yun po ang sinasabi natin kanina because mayroon silang 60 days to submit the claims to us. And sa 60 days na po na yan, ang estimate po ng ating actuary ay umabot ng 24.8 billion. Subalit po, pagdating ng 2019, ang actual claims lamang ang pumasok sa 2019 intended for 2018 ay nasa 15.8 billion lamang po. So in order for us to show to the financial report the actual claims paid in 2018, that's the reason po nag-adjust po tayo. Hindi para po na bawasan lang ang expenses natin, mapakita na magandang performance ni PhilHealth. Yan po ay dahil ipapakita ni PhilHealth po yung tamang picture of PhilHealth's financial position na kumbaga matama ang ating benefit claims. Otherwise po, over-recording po ng benefit claims payment po ang mangyayari po sa atin. So yun po, sana sa ating mga kasamahan sa media ay mapa-inform po tayo lahat ng ating mga miyembro sa buong Pilipinas kung ano po yung tunay na estado ng financial report po natin, ng korporasyon po natin because tayo lahat ay miyembro ng Philippine Health Insurance Corporation. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Senior Vice President Renette. Konting yabang lang muna kami ha. Renette was a recipient of the Civil Service Commission. He was a semi-finalist of the CSC Pag-asa Award. And the CSC Pag-asa Award is a search for outstanding government workers. Ngayon, si SVP Aragon naman was a recipient of the Presidential Lingkod Bayan Award. Correct me if I'm wrong, SVP Aragona. And she is also an awardee of several awards in the field of IT because of her work in IT. So konting yabang lang po kami. And the other officers are also awardees in their own. They took up DAP. Jojo was a student in DAP, no? So awardee ka rin ba, Jojo? I texted you, you texted me. But anyway, we're all winners here. So let's go now to question and answer. What will happen is, kasi marami tayong participants, my co-host, Ray Balena, and some of his staff will help me look at your questions. So there is an icon there that you can raise your hand. You can either press that or raise your hand in the picture, but I cannot see everyone, or type in your question in the group chat because some people will help me out in looking at those questions. So we're open now for questions. Anybody wants to ask? There's a raise hand icon there. Okay. First one is Ria Fernandez from TV5. Ria, the floor is yours. Please unmute, Ria, yung host. Please unmute. Kasi hindi sila nakaka-unmute on their own, I think. Ray and the other host, please unmute Ria of TV5.
Okay, ma'am. Wait lang po.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay,
yan na po.
Ria, is that you? Okay. Sige,
Yes,
Ria,
ma'am.
we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, last year po, there was a report that PhilHealth, there was an allegation against PhilHealth of 154 billion pesos overpayment, and it was published in a newspaper po. Ano na pong nangyari doon, ma'am? Kasi I understand that President Morales sought an investigation or an update from the Commission on Audit po.
Thank you very much for asking that. Sir Morales, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, hi Ria. Yeah, I wrote Commissioner Mike of COA asking his opinion because you know, the figure of 154 billion is not in our books, and he came back with a letter telling us that based on the documents that we submitted, the 154 billion loss could not be found. Now we clarified this with COA, actually with their director Tuason, and she explained that the amount of 154 billion, wala naman kasing sub-account na fraud or you know, that account. So ang sabi lang ni, and we will provide you copies of this letter so that you would be able to see for yourself. I think did we publish that COA audit, or did we provide to media? I think we provide you a copy of that letter. Its date was June 10, if I remember right, June 10. So for us, what that letter means is where not to look for that fraud, because kailangan ng forensic audit a regular audit, the annual audit will not reveal the fraud that we're looking for. So kailangan ng forensic audit, but at least it tells us, you know, it reduces it narrows down the areas that we will be looking at. Yun.
Sir, in other words, may nawawala ba talagang pondo because of fraud, the 154 billion pesos?
No, we cannot say that. We cannot say that.
Sir, last question na lang po from my end po. May breaking news po, si PhilHealth Senior Vice President for Operations Augustus De Villa nag-resign po. Sir, may we get details? Sabi niya po kasi kayo po ang nakakaalam kung bakit siya nag-resign.
Yes, he came to me this morning and he explained to me the reasons behind this resignation. You know, it's not easy to be running PhilHealth even in ordinary times. And also, lalo na sa panahong ito, you know, we're subjected to a 10-hour grilling by the Senate. And I think we were really, talagang nalaspag kami doon. I think that added to the tension, and he said he wanted to spend more time with his family. I respect his decision, and I'm grateful for his candor. And that was the reason he told me that he opted to resign from PhilHealth. So, yun.
Alright po,
Okay.
thank you po.
Okay, thank you, Ria. Yung sunod is Red Mendoza. Red Mendoza. Red?
Yes po. Yes po.
Okay.
Yes po.
Okay, Red.
Ay, wait lang po. Hello po, General Morales, sir. Good afternoon po.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Sir, ano po yung internal, kasi po, of course, nakikita po natin yung social media reaction regarding this PhilHealth fracas. So, ano po yung internal controls na meron ang PhilHealth para ma-ensure na yung perang galing sa mga miyembro, it's not pilfered during any operations of the agency?
Mm-hmm. Siguro baka si Renette Lim siya ako makakasagot yan kasi sa financial management sector siya. Renette?
Yes, sir. Maraming salamat, sir. Maraming salamat, Red Mendoza, for that question. Ang pondo po natin ay nanggagaling sa dalawang sources po. One is direct source. Yan ay galing sa ating mga employer, employee, galing sa self-employed, din po galing sa OFW, then galing sa mga individual na nagbabayad. And the other sources po ay galing sa DBM po for the indirect contribution. Okay? Now, ang sistema po ng pangungulekta po natin ay mayroon po tayong collecting agent nangungulekta para kay PhilHealth. And of course, mayroon din tayong opisina nangungulekta para sa ating sa premium ng ating mga miyembro. So yun lahat po na yan ay pumapasok po sa ating treasury. Automatic po ay pumapasok sa isang bank account ni PhilHealth. Isang account ni PhilHealth wherein nandoon po lahat yung ating pondo. And of course, dadaan po siya ng reconciliation process ng based sa remittance report po and then based sa pumapasok na pera. Ito po ay ang pera na ito ay parating ginireconcile ni accounting at saka ni treasury. At the same time po ang ating COA, ang ating auditor po na nandito sa loob ng PhilHealth po ay nagbe-verify ng premium collection po natin kung magkano yung pumapasok na pera po sa atin. Ibig sabihin po, hindi po pwede na yung premium po natin na nakolekta kaling sa ating mga miyembro o kaling sa national government ay mapunta po sa hindi authorized na bulsa, kumbaga. So lahat po yan ay accounted dahil mayroon siyang mga official receipt na sinusundan po bawat isang koleksyon ng ating korporasyon, ng ating accredited collecting agent po. So kumbaga, ganun po siya ka-tight. Aside from that COA, mayroon din po tayong tinatawag na internal audit na nagbe-verify po ng proseso ni PhilHealth. And sila po ang nagbibigay ng information whether kailangan i-improve yung proseso na ito or hindi po, kumbaga. Okay? So kumbaga tight po siya. And of course, as we go along with our collection right now, ang focus po ng ating korporasyon ay ma-automate ang proseso ng pangungulekta. Na wala na po manual o kaya official receipt na manual na binibigay. Lahat po ay automated. And of course, on that note po, mayroon naman ho tayo DICT na nagre-review, na nagbe-verify sa ating proseso po. So kumbaga, ito po ay may mga safeguards na naka-embed na nandiyan na po sa sistema natin na ginagawa po ni PhilHealth na dapat walang masayang, mawawalang pera para sa ating premium ng ating mga miyembro dahil po ito ay premium, ito po ay pera ng ating mga miyembro po na binibigay sa corporation para sa kanilang benepisyo po. Maraming salamat.
Okay, salamat Renette. Let's go to to Ray Pelayo of UNTV. Ray Pelayo. Ray Pelayo? Na-mute na ba siya?
Ayun po.
Okay, Ray, go.
Good afternoon po, Matt. Salamat po sa pagkakataon. Tanong ko lang po yung fund po ngayon ng PhilHealth. Pwede pong pakipaliwanag kung gaano na lang po ba ang itatagal itong talagang pondo natin sa PhilHealth at ano po ang kailangan kung sakali man na may clean na lang po yung buhay ng pondo, ano po yung kailangan na intervention para ito po ay
Okay, siguro i-clarify yan ni Renette, but gusto ko lang sagutin na sino nagtanong. Yung basic, I think na ano tayo dun sa actuarial calculation eh. Yung actuarial calculation kasi is an estimate, nagpo-project yun eh, project ng life ng fund, at gumagawa siya ng study. So may mga assumptions yan. So based sa assumptions niya, hanggang yan, certain portion yung life na yung life ng fund. Pero yung assumptions niya, for example, wala nang papasok na fund. Yun ang assumptions niya. Kaya kung sinara mo yung gripo, ay talagang matutuyo na. But that is not what's going to happen. And precisely gumagawa tayo ng ganitong study para masabi natin sa mga economic managers natin, kapag dumating itong panahon na to, kailangan ng infusion. Ang kasi ng PhilHealth, ang reinsurer niya, kumbaga yung sa insurance, ang reinsurer niya is the national government. So, Pag i-connect natin yan, masasabi natin maubusan ng pera ang PhilHealth pag naubusan ng pera ang gobyerno. Because the government is the reinsurer of PhilHealth. Ngayon, Ray, wala si Neri, no? Ang actuary na actuary. Nandito si Neri.
Neri, are you here? Ray, nandiyan ba si Neri? But I think okay na sa'yo, Ray Pelayo, that answer. Ray?
Ayan po, medyo nahirapan ako mag-unmute. Pero yun lang po kasing computation kahapon, ma'am, na naungkat din doon sa hearing. Parang gusto lang maipaliwanag kung nabanggit na po kanina, more than 200 billion po ata yung available pa natin na fund. So ano lang po, kung ilang taon, ngayon po ba sa estado ngayon, ilang taon pa po yung itatagal natin talaga? At yun nga po, anong kailangan na intervention? May additional na budget po bang kailangan hilingin po ang PhilHealth sa national government po?
Yeah, oo. Yung actuarial calculation, okay, 200 billion yung fund. Ang ginagawa dyan, nag-assume siya na wala nang papasok, okay? Kung wala nang papasok, hanggang ganito lang yung fund natin. Ngunit, i-modify yung assumptions niya. For example, yung pasok ng national government subsidy. Ayun, pinag-aaralan natin yung tama ng COVID. Alam mo naman, wala namang negosyo, walang pasok, walang nakakatanggap ng sweldo, wala rin nakakabayad ng buwis, no? At yung mga direct contributors din natin, hindi rin nakakabayad dahil wala rin silang trabaho. So yung sources of income, yung subsidy tsaka yung direct payments ng mga members ay nabawasan. But still, meron pa rin pumapasok. Okay, ngayon sa gastos naman, in-anticipate namin, kasi ngayon universal healthcare na tayo eh. Dati kasi yung mga members lang nakakatanggap. Ngayon universal healthcare, lahat na ng Pilipino are entitled. So we anticipate an increase in the benefit payments. Ngunit, dahil sa COVID, maraming umiiwas sa hospital. Yung mga dating pupunta sa hospital sa pangkaraniwang sakit ay umiiwas at sa bahay na lang nagpapagaling. So, bumaba din yung gastos natin. So, although masyado pang maaga, ma-terminate ito kasi bago kumpleto lang financial statement namin end of June eh. Masyado pa maaga kung i-determine kung ano yung pattern. But sa hawak natin na pondo ngayon, sufficient tayo for this year and up to next year sagutin yung gastos na kailangan ng mga member natin. Yun lang ang masasabi ko. But before that happens, importante rin na maintindihan natin na magkakaroon ng government intervention. At yun ang dahilan kung bakit patuloy ang pag-ugnay namin sa Department of Finance at sa Department of Budget and Management at saka sa Insurance Commission na siyang gumagawa ng actuarial calculations. So, okay tayo. These are just actuarial calculations that are based on assumptions that, can be modified. And they're not hard and fast. Hindi sila yung parang bato na hindi pwedeng hindi na pwedeng magbago. Okay?
Okay, thank you, sir. So let's go next to Sherry Ann Torres. Sherry Ann. Pa-unmute si Sherry Ann. Ayun. Okay, ay nabalik. Pa-unmute. Okay. Okay. Pumabalik ulit.
Yan, ma'am.
Yon, Sherry. Okay, go Sherry.
Magandang hapon po. General Morales, sir, yung kasi kanina paulit-ulit, sabi nyo nga, 10-hour hearing, apparently dun sa mga sinasabi nyo, nalaspag kayo, to quote you. Do you feel hindi po kayo nabigyan ng tamang opportunity to explain your side dun po sa issue ng IRM, dun po sa issue ng IT project, etc.?
Yeah, I think so. Kasi kaya nga namin tinawag itong Presscon na to para mapaliwanag ng gusto yung side namin tungkol sa mga issues na na-raise. Yeah, oo. So, we think na kaya namin tinawag doon para ma-clarify yun.
Pero sir, ano yung nakikita niyong motivation ng mga, for example, ng mga senators na and even congressmen na nagsasabi na maraming irregularity sa agency, and some are even asking for your resignation, for the resignation of the allegedly involved PhilHealth officials po?
Alam mo, annual event ito eh. Every year about this time, niro-roast ang PhilHealth. I don't really know the motivation ng ano. Alam ko nag-precipitate dito yung alleged, yung nag-resign na si Attorney Kit na sinabi niya meron daw widespread fraud sa PhilHealth. Unang-una talaga naman may fraud ang PhilHealth. Ang estimate ng isang study, 7.5%. Yan ang fraud. But this is a study and that is an estimate. But we never denied na mayroong fraud. And we are doing what we can within the resources available to us to reduce fraud. So it's an annual cycle. I do not know siguro. Baka pwede pa yung Congress magtatanong. Ang tingin ko yung event na yun, yung resignation ni Attorney Kier.
Sir, any effect ng resignation ni SVP De Villa? With respect to this investigation?
We continue to operate and any corporation, meron naman mga redundancies yan eh. Nobody is indispensable, not even me. So there are business continuity plans in place and they will continue to operate so that we can continue providing services. So yeah, naka-built in sa organization yung mga ganyan disruptions.
Sir, just 2 more questions if you may please. There will be no resignation of PhilHealth officials as being pressed by senators and some congressmen, sir.
You know, yung resignation ng officials is sa PhilHealth is an individual choice. Eh. So if there are employees or executives who want to resign, I cannot stop them. I would like to keep them kasi siyempre dahil yung workload bibigat, no? But that is an individual choice over which I have no control.
Including yourself, sir. Because they're also calling for your resignation, di po ba?
You know, my family is really begging me to. But there are things that have to be done. And then ngayon COVID, ang ko yung disruption.
Sir, just one last, sir. Kahapon po sinabi ni Commissioner Bellica na nag-submit na sa Malacanang na yung report ng PACC, and then at least 31 to 36 PhilHealth officials, and including employees, are being recommended to be either disciplined or charged. What can you say about this, sir?
I would be really interested in the result of his investigation because, you know, he's an outside agency. And baka he would be more effective sa because if the fraud is internal, logic dictates that you cannot use internal resources to the, you know, kung ano nga to, di ba? Magtatakipan yan eh. So baka mas effective nga yung So I'm very curious kung ano yung result nitong yung I have not seen a copy of the report, but I would be very interested.
Habo lang, sir. You remain confident that the president still trusts you, sir, amid everything?
Well, so far, the messages I have been getting is that to stay here. You know, retired na ako nung pumasok ako dito eh. I mean, I was living a happy, carefree life before I came here. And then, but my friend, the president, he asked me, and then hindi ko siya matanggihan. That's why I'm here.
Hindi po kayo nagsisisi.
Thank you, Sir Yan.
Matagal na.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
President dito sa PhilHealth.
Okay.
Dr. Gigi.
Yes, Ray.
Yes,
babasahin ko pa.
we would like to acknowledge po the presence of Acting Senior Vice President for Actuary po, no? Si Ma'am Nerissa Santiago is here. She is using yung pong slot ni Doc Ish Pargas. So baka bigyan po natin ng time po si Ma'am Neri to explain yung question po kanina about the fund life.
Sa mga kaibigan natin sa media, medyo technical lang si Ma'am Neri, so you keep that in mind when you hear the explanation, okay?
Although nasagot na yan ni President Morales about the issue, but sige, maybe just a very short, non-technical explanation from SVP Neri. Neri, did you want to say something, or we continue with the questions?
Kung satisfied na po yung ating nagtatanong, pwede na pong hindi masagot, pero kung may katanungan pa pong further, I can answer po kung ano po yung katanungan pang iba.
Okay, thank you, Neri. So let's go to the next person who requested to ask, si Hilda Ong. Hilda, the floor is yours. Hilda, Hilda.
Yes, hello?
Ayun, okay, go Hilda.
Ang tatanong ko po, i-follow up question ko po, tungkol kay SBP Revilla. Di pa po, yung pag-resign po niya, hindi po ba nakaka-apekto? Dahil di ba doon sa Senate, nagsabi po siya na inamin daw niya na meron siya pinirmahan pero hindi daw niya pinunit. So di ba yan ang hinihingi ng Senado na kailangan i-produce yung papeles na yun? And since nag-resign na siya, paano na mangyayari doon sa papers?
Sir?
Yeah. Kung subpoena yon and the papers are with us, then we will provide it to the Senate. Yeah. Kung subpoena yon, we will provide it to the Senate.
Pero di ba ang sabi po ni Senator Lacson na ini-expect niya yung papeles na yun na sinabi daw niya na hindi niya pinunit. Pero paano yun nung nag-resign na siya? Sino na maglalabas ng dokumento?
Yeah, covered pa rin ng subpoena. And if that document is within our custody, we will provide it. We will provide it. So we will we'll try to locate that document. Kasi kung hindi, kung nasa kanya yon, and then it is covered naman din lang subpoena yon, he will have to provide it.
Oo.
Okay.
At sa may second question ako. Regarding naman po, kasi di ba ang parang ang nakikita ko po doon sa the way yung pagtanong ni Senator Lacson ay tungkol po sa parang si PCO Morales, parang siya, sobrang bait, parang hindi siya stricto. So, po kasi siguro ang gusto nila malaman sa loob ng isang taon, ano po ba ang nangyari doon sa 21 na opisyales, yun ang sinampahan ng kaso, yung sa WealthMet. So, sa ngayon, yung WealthMet po ba ay patuloy pa rin po ba ang kanilang operation? And then, meron po ba administrative investigation po doon sa 21 na opisyales? Suspended ba sila o tuloy-tuloy pa rin? Kasi yun ang nakikita ko doon sa Senate hearing eh. Parang yung gusto nila makita, yung pagiging general po ni PCEO.
Yung 21 na employees, nag-submit sila ng dokumento sa, I think sa NBI. At nasa NBI ngayon, kasi ang pag-criminal case, yung NBI ang nag-handle. So, yung 21 na yan. And I understand, I'm not sure yung status ng mga kaso nila. Yung internal investigation is already finished, tapos inelevate na namin sa board for the decision of the board. And I leave it to the board. I cannot reveal the details so that until the board makes its decision. Ngayon, dito sa 21 na to, some of them were promoted, di ba? Lumabas sa diaryo yan. According to civil service rules, we were advised, I was told, that kung walang independency of a case, ibig sabihin kahit na may kaso, pero pending pa yung kaso, wala pang decision, hindi disqualification for any employee to be promoted. I really clarify this. Sinek namin sa there are civil service regulations covering this. So that is the reason na hindi namin pwedeng patawan ng disqualification yung mga nag-submit ng papeles sa NBI from being promoted because that's what the civil service rules say. Yon.
Okay, thank you, Hilda. Thank you. There was a type-in question kanina pa. So, bakit po si spokesperson Roque nais kayo magkaroon ng meeting na kasama siya? From Meli Tenorio. Sir, you might want to answer that.
Hindi ko alam, bago ito or ano, I never heard that he wanted to meet me. Bago ba ito? He has my number. Hindi ko alam na gusto siya makapag-meeting sa akin.
Okay. Sige, sir. Thank you. So, next is Sheila Crisostomo. Sheila? Sheila Crisostomo? Pa-unmute si Sheila, please. Okay, Sheila. Na-unmute na siya. Sheila?
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, we can
hello.
hear you.
No, for Ma'am Argona.
Na-unmute na siya.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
we can hear you,
Yeah,
Sheila.
Ma'am Argona. Ma'am, pwede paki-explain po yung difference sa prices nung Cisco. Iba yung computation ng Senate and PhilHealth. Hello, yeah. Sa Senado, 62,000, while sa PhilHealth, 348,000. Bakit po malaki yung difference sa prices?
Okay, Sheila, this was explained earlier, so pero baka wala ka nun.
Yeah,
Joey, can you show? Okay, Joey, can you show ulit the slide?
Flash namin po yung slide ng comparison.
I think ang ano dyan, yung sa Senate was provided to the Senate. It was not the Senate that researched that information. It was provided to them.
Yes po.
Yeah, factor po ba to kasi yung difference do sa Senate, walang mga services? Ito ba yung factors dito?
Sheila, it's already, nakikita mo yung sa slide?
Yes, ito po yung comparison. Of course, kailangan natin una malaman ano ba yung specifications no nung binibili natin na produkto. Pwedeng product lang siya, kasama ba yung warranty dyan? Ilang years ba ang warranty? Kasama ba ang value-added tax pag nag-compute? Kasama ba yung training? So mga regional offices, no? So kasama ba ang pagte-training nila? Kasama ba ang pag-deliver mismo doon sa mga regions? At iba pang services, no, nakapaloob doon. Sample lang po ito, base doon sa anong factors ang pwedeng magkaiba ang mga prices natin. So,
Sheila, merong pinublish yung Cisco na official statement eh. Baka if you would want a copy,
yes,
may official statement sila. Nabigyan ba, are we ready to provide copies of this official statement?
Sige, sir. We will provide them a copy of that.
Okay.
Yung siguro yung last, yung nearest specs, no, that we can compare, yung labor test version ng Cisco 92,000 with the Cisco 2960 has a list price of $4,215 or 210,000 per unit. So when we included the 3-year warranty, VAT, cost of money, delivery services, etc., the approximate price will reach 324,555 peso. So both amounts are lower than the peg price in 2016, but of course are reasonably close to the said amount.
Okay. Sheila, may question ka pa? Okay.
Meron pa raw, ma'am. Actually, nasa chat, ma'am, meron pa raw additional question si Ma'am Sheila Crisostomo.
Sige, Sheila. Sige, question, Sheila.
Kindly unmute daw po.
Yeah. Hello. Yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Sheila.
For General Morales, sir, you mentioned that PhilHealth tried to get an outside consultant that can guide the agency sa transformation process, pero hindi nagtagumpay dahil walang suporta. Can you elaborate po? And sir, do you think there's a demolition job against PhilHealth or against you?
So, yung demolition job, whether directed or not, talagang dati na yun eh. But yeah, we really wanted a partner na may karanasan sa ganitong transformation, yung ano tawag dyan? Organizational transformation. Kasi siyempre, bukod pa sa pang-araw-araw na ginagawa namin, gusto ko yung partner na may experience sa kanilang gawa sa ibang bansa. Para naman madali yung kaya lang, eh namahalan naman yung mga principals namin. So there was not much support for that initiative. So ngayon, we are doing it on our own. Yan, si Joby tsaka si Shirley, yan, sila Ray. Kanilang utak ang ginagamit namin sa transformation. And distracted kasi siyempre may bawas yung sa day-to-day operation na sa planning. I really wanted that. That's one thing I really wanted to do dito sa PhilHealth, but hindi nag-prosper.
Sir, naka-epekto ba to dun sa effort nyo na, kasi nung na-interview ko before, sabi nyo, you want to reform PhilHealth. Naka-epekto ba to dun sa mga plano nyo?
Well, bumagal.
Wala ng suporta.
Bumagal. Kasi now, we have to do it on our own. Kasi shortcut yun eh. Pag meron kang consultant na ganong klaseng kalaki, no? A global player. Madali yun kasi meron na siyang tao, tsaka meron na siyang experience. So, yeah, madali sana yung transformation kung natuloy yun.
Okay. Thank you, Sheila. May question si Dennis Chu. She typed it in, but it's related to the resignation of Augusto de Villa. So, President answered that na. Is it also true that CEO Arneldes is confined due to heart ailments? I think that's a private matter, so I don't think we should answer that anymore. So, Sheila Makabuhay, pwede po i-clarify din the claim of Ms. Nerissa Santiago that there are no reserve funds for PhilHealth in 2021. So, I think this was answered already from Sheila Dino. Na-answer na ito, okay?
Dr.
Next
Judy.
is, yes, Ray.
Yes, further down lang po, meron ditong question po si Melly Tenorio. Di ba raw pwedeng kasuhan si Attorney Keith? At I think after this, we will have to make way for Gerd Cahiles of CNN.
Okay. Sige,
General Morales, there is a question here. Pwede raw bang kasuhan si Attorney Keith?
Depende. Our legal people, si Attorney Jojo is exploring that. I understand they asked for legislative immunity.
Immunity.
Alam ng mga abogado yan. But of course, meron kasi siyang pinirmahan dito na confidentiality clause eh. So he revealed inside information. So we will see what we can do about that. But the lawyers, it's a legal question and I'm not... Baka si Attorney Jojo can help us.
Attorney Joe, you want to answer that?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. Thank you, sir. Actually, tama ang sinabi ni Mr. President that we are exploring, no? So definitely we have seen ang dami po niyang mga kasinungalingan na pinagsasabi, no? Sabi niya 15 billion binulsa ng mga EXICOM members. We can show receipts of the releases sa IRM at na hindi yan binulsa ng mga EXICOM. So the whole EXICOM will file charges against him for libel, no? At hindi niya pwedeng i-invoke yung legislative immunity niya kasi he actually went around media stating those lies, no? Those fabrications. So kahit na hindi mag-decide, no, kasi ang corporation to file charges against him dahil yung PhilHealth kasi can sue or may be sued, no, as an entity, ay ang members ng EXICOM on our personal capacity will file cases against charges or complaints against him. Marami po salamat.
Okay, thank you. So punta tayo kay Gerd ba to o Greg? Cahiles of CNN.
Gerd Cahiles.
Yeah. Gerd Cahiles of CNN Philippines. Gerd?
Hi, good afternoon po. George po, si CNN Philippines.
George. Okay, sorry.
Well, anyway, the impression that I got po from what you did this afternoon is to answer the allegations one by one na binato po sa inyo sa Senado. Sabi nga po kanina ni President Morales, he feels that hindi nabigyan ng sapat na oras magpaliwanag yung PhilHealth. So does this mean po that you're standing by the idea na walang anomalya sa ginawang, sa plano o sa ginagawang ICT project ng PhilHealth?
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Jerd. Hindi kita sinasagot dahil minsan na alam ko
Okay.
sisipot ka. Alam ko naman sisipot ka rito. You know, yung 2.1 billion, unang-una, that is not yet a perfect contract. That is still a plan subject to several approvals before it can be implemented. Wala pang transaction yan. So it cannot be you know, scandalous, or it cannot be fraud. Wala pang na ano eh. Tapos yung lumalabas, it has often been misquoted na it's a COA audit. It's not a COA audit, it's an internal audit. Internal audit of a budget process in mid-stride. Eh mid-stride yan eh. So hindi nagtatapat-tapat yung mga amounts, yung mga quantities, ganyan. And the word fraud, overpriced, is not in the report. The word discrepancy is in the report. Yun ang na-insert na hindi naman sa original report. So, the 2.1 billion proposed information system strategic plan, as alleged na it is fraudulent, is not fraudulent because it is incomplete. It is still incomplete. It is still in process.
Mm-hmm. Sir,
okay.
Hingi lang kami ng explanation na po kasi we got this information that ito mga dates to, sir, in relation to that 2.1 billion peso project. Noong January 2020, may inaprubahan daw pong 25 million peso budget. Procurement daw po ito in relation to ICT. Tapos nung March, there's another approval, 302.8 million. Was approved. And then nung April, 750 million naman yung nire-request. Now, which was not approved because you were waiting for the audit of hardware and software, yung internal audit ninyo. And then nung May 9, lumabas yung audit report. And then yung June 2, the presentation ng audit report, sir, na nangyari. Well, there's an allegation, sir, na yung 2.1 billion, ginawang staggered yung proseso. So the technique was installment yung strategy para ma-approve ng board. And even the 750 million peso daw po is even endorsed by your officer. Baka pwede pong pakipaliwanag lang, sir, po ito.
Hindi makakalusot sa board yan kung ganyan yung breaking up. Alam mo, Jared, yung budget is not a contract. Once the budget, even if the budget is approved, it will not result in money going out. It will not result in any obligation between parties. A budget is a tool for planning and control. That is what it is. So that's why babalik pa yan, there will be several iterations, tapos pag meron ng final approval, doon na ngayon mag-invitation to bid, meron ng kabilang party, and then may contract, ito babayaran namin sa inyo, itong dideliver sa amin, ipapag sa board. Yun ang magkakaroon niya ng obligasyon. But the budget itself is just a planning and control document. But si Ma'am Joby can better explain the details. Kasi ako mismo, hindi rin ako IT, alam naman tayo, ano ba? Centennial o baby boomer. Joby, pwede mo paliwanag.
Yes po, sir. So, ipapaliwanag ko po, yung unang sinasabi na January, yung 25 million, ito po yung para sa integrity security suite namin. Kumbaga yung antivirus. So, pinauna ito kasi kailangan namin dahil mag-expire na ang license ng integrity security suite na yon. Kaya yun yung justification kung bakit ito yung nauna. So nung present ang 2.1 doon December ng last year, so hindi nga siya na-approve kasi kailangan ma-orient yung mga boards, kaya pinadaan yun sa risk committee at saka sa mga audit committee. During the process, ang sinasabi ni Kabading ay kailangan natin mag-hire na isang expert. Kasi sila mismo ay hindi nila alam. So they are not really expert din dun sa system. Kaya nung nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na merong isang expert nga, So pinakausapan namin na reviewin, no, po yung mga nandoon sa 2.1. So it's a process, no? Tama po yung proseso yon. So while we are reviewing, no, una, prior to the consultant, kasi alam naman namin na siya gagawa ng roadmap. So because of the change in the technology, may mga items doon say for example, universal healthcare, na gagawa tayo ng isang data center. So we can defer muna those things pending the coming of our IT roadmap expert. So yun yung isa sa mga reasons, no? And that's actually correct din, because iibahin na yung technology, magka-cloud, so kaya nagkaroon ng deductions or tinatawag nga nilang na-reduce, no? Pero it was not reduced for any malicious intention, gaya ng sinasabi ni Kabading. Yung 302 million naman, ito naman yung proyekto noong 2019 na hindi na nga mabibili kasi nga merong itong problema sa tinatawag na EO 91 doon sa cash base. So nung hinain namin sa board yon, so ang hinain namin is, sinasabi namin yung dahilan kung bakit na kailangan namin i-extend sa December 2020, no? Because hindi na nga iyon mapoprocure for this year kasi affected na siya. So ang request was to extend. But the board actually gave us the decision na gawin siyang supplemental. So that's the story of the 302.8 million. 2019 po yun budget. And then yung 750 million na sinasabi, and then sinasabi nyo pa na in-endorse din or sinuportahan ng ating PCO, yung 750 na yon, yun yung result ng pag-aaral between the IT and yung pumasok po nating IT expert, no, na pinakausapan namin i-review those items na sa tingin namin ay makaka-apekto doon sa IT roadmap. And I think that's right, no? Walang mali doon. So kailangan namin ayusin din, no, yung road mapping namin because of the new direction. Kaya present yung 750 million during that time. Pero of course, ganun pa rin yung decision ng board. So pending the inventory and the audit, no, na kakailanganin nila. So we respect that also, and we also comply with that. That the reason of the 750 million is para mapakita na yun yung basihan o yun yung resulta ng pag-a-analyze ng IT consultant namin. Okay? And then, of course, nung present, so nag-present ang internal audit, up to the time na nagkaroon ng responses ang management dun sa isa't isa sa mga audit findings na internal audit, and up to the point na nagkaroon naman ng isang report ang ating internal audit base doon sa mga management responses na ginawa ng management. So yun po yung storya, no, ng budget na yon. So hindi po to dapat bigyan ng anumang malicious na kahulugan dahil sa pagbabago-bago ng budget. Kasi ang bawat presentation ng mga budget ay may kanya-kanyang dahilan. Kung decision man ng board nung hindi approved, then we respect that. Wala pong problema as long as we have something to say na ito was presented for good intention po. So yun po yung storya ng budget na yon.
Ma'am, siguro example lang, Jared, yung internal audit, hindi lang naman numbers ang natignan yan eh. Pati yung terminology, napansin na rin eh. Bakit iba ang term na definition na terminology na ginagawa gamit dito? Bakit iba din ang definition na terminology na ginagawa? So yung mga ganong klaseng discrepancies, nahagip din ng internal audit. Hindi lang naman sa hindi lang sa figures ang na-audit niya. So yun, hindi lang figures.
Sir, kasi kanina si Ma'am Jovi, may sinabi po siya na she's inviting Mr. Kabading to speak with them, and to sit down and discuss the matter. So ibig sabihin po ba nito ay nagkaroon lang talaga ng misunderstanding along the way? Because based on the explanation, mukha pong iba-ibang bagay naman yung dinidiscuss as opposed to what Mr. Kabading was telling us.
Yeah. Kasi si Mr. Cabading obviously does not have confidence in our IT people. And unfortunately, if the explanation is too technical, he concludes that it is an attempt to mislead him. But well, kung willing si Joby dyan, and if, kaya kumuha kami ng external consultant eh. Kasi kung hindi siya naniniwala sa IT people ng Information Technology Department namin, kukuha kami ng tagalabas who can maybe has his confidence. Ayun ang ginawa namin. Kumuha kami ng dalawa na binayaran ng ADB. So yun. But still, hindi pa rin sapat sa because not everything can be mahirap yung IT, yung very high ang percentage ng failure sa information system development. You ask any expert. More than 50%. Either umi-exceed sa time frame, umi-exceed sa budget, or hindi natatapos. So it's really difficult. It's really difficult.
Sir, pahabol na lang po. Ay, sir, ma'am, last na lang po pahabol.
Sige, last girl. Okay.
Kay General Morales. Sir, may nagtatanong lang po, bakit what's the motivation of General Morales not to resign or file a leave of absence at this point, sir?
Eh, sinong sasagot sa mga tanong? Eh, sinong tatanungin mo kung wala ako dito? Pero pag natigil na itong mga tanong, ay bang usapan na?
But sir, you're confident that tama yung pinapaliwanag nyo and you can defend the situation of PhilHealth right now na walang nangyayaring kalokohan?
I have no reason to doubt the people working at PhilHealth. No reason. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Gerg. May I just add that the history or the work of General Morales in the past, siya yung original graph buster if you will read his works in the past. Sa tingin ko walang makakalusot sa kanya na graph dito sa korporasyon eh. So, yun lang. So,
Merong
just wanted to say that.
incompetence pero graph wala.
Incompetence, okay. Ibahin natin yung inefficiencies doon sa graph. Okay, next, nag-raise ng hand si Macon. Macon of Manila Standard. It's your turn, Macon. Macon, please unmute him. Macon, are you still there?
Naka-mute siya.
Naka-mute siya, Macon. Pa-unmute, yung host kasi may control.
Okay.
She's in na po. She's in na po.
Okay, Macon, it's your turn.
Okay. So, okay, General Morales, good afternoon. Hi,
Yeah,
sir.
hello, good afternoon. Hello.
So, this is Macon Araneta from Manila Standard. So,
Okay.
sir, when do you intend to finish your job? At least to reform the PhilHealth and get rid of corruption. Kasi kanina, this is also the challenge of Senator Lacson that we wanted a graph-free PhilHealth, at least to ensure that the benefits would go to the intended beneficiaries. Tapos, si Senator Lacson, he also raised the possibilities na baka daw po you did nothing, kaya widespread pa rin yung corruption, or you were
Co-opted.
You were co-opted, you're a part of it, or you were stupid na you were being misled by your people.
Well, that's his opinion. We have about 20,000 cases of fraudulent, possible fraud in our legal offices. It's been accumulating for years, no? And that is worth about 4.5 billion. And but reforms do not take overnight. It takes, the reform that we want will take time bago magkaroon ng epekto. Ngayon, if Senator Lacson or may sinaharap silang is willing to take on this job, by all means, baka he can be more effective. Pero I'm here, ang stock answer kasi dito, I'm here at the pleasure of the President. So until I am not needed, I will just take it out. You know, it's not easy. There's nothing else I would want. But like a good soldier, I'm just taking it out. It will take time for reforms to take root. Hindi naman, and there are not enough resources. I don't have enough resources to do it. So medyo you're trying to level a hill with the teaspoon, yung approach na ginagawa natin. So yun, of course, Senator Lacson is entitled to his opinion, just like everybody else.
Okay. Follow-up question po. Last
hello.
Makon, nawala ka.
Yeah, hello. Makon? Makon?
Makon?
Oh, wala na.
Nawala siya. Nakat siya. Sige, we'll just go back to Makon kung nandyan siya. Meron mga gustong umulit ng question, but let's finish muna yung mga round 1 muna. Sino pa ba?
Ito si Red. Red.
Red, umulit kasi si Red.
Second
Naka-note ka, Red, sa akin. But let's go first to those na hindi pa nakatanong. Okay, ito may question si Jackie Rubio. Jackie, or can I just read it? Inclined pa rin po ba tayo to proceed with the automation of financial reporting given the issue? From Jackie Rubio.
Yeah. Hi, Jackie. You know, we have no choice. We have no choice. Kung gusto talaga natin mawala ang fraud, become more efficient and deliver better services, there is no way to go but automation, information technology. Tuloy. As a matter of fact, we intend to increase the budget. One reason kung bakit hirap na hirap tayong patakbuhin to, if we are losing 7.5% to fraud, which last year would have been equivalent to about 10 billion loss. Bakit tayo magtitipid ng 2 billion a year when by spending a little more sa information technology, we can drastically reduce our losses. So no-brainer, yeah, that's no-brainer. I think our board already appreciates that. And that is going to be felt in the new round of budget preparation for next year. Yun.
Okay, thank you, sir. Si Melly Tenorio, I read your question earlier, but did you want to ask your sarili mong question? Si Melly? Can somebody unmute Melly? Okay, I'll just put you in the list of follow-ups kung wala si Melly. Okay, next we go to JC Gotinga from Rappler. JC?
Hello, General Morales. Good afternoon po. JC Gotinga po from Rappler. Can you hear me?
Yeah, JC.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, salamat po. Sir, you were appointed by President Duterte precisely to weed out corruption because at that time, sabi nyo nga po, this time last year, very rife din yung allegations of corruption in PhilHealth. So sir, kayo, may nadatnan po ba kayong corruption? Did you find that the allegations at that time were true? Or were they parang kumbaga usok lang na wala namang malaking apoy?
There's always corruption in a corporation this large, anywhere in the world. And then according to the study, we're even lower than the world average. So meron talaga. But it would take a special effort to be able, a special and sustained effort to root it out and to reduce it significantly. Hindi natin masisiro ito, JC. Hindi masisiro. Pero it will take time bago ma-effect dyan. Pero ang ano kasi, if you get rid of corruption, mabagal sa simula yan, but it will collect, it will have its own momentum. And as that momentum increases, pabilis ng pabilis, and then pa-reduce ng pa-reduce yung. But it's only the start that's difficult. And for me, the most difficult part is getting the resources and getting this IT project up and going. Yan ang challenge. Kasi dito sa whistleblower, can you imagine 35,000 transactions a day tapos mag-aasa ka sa whistleblower? That is really very, very inadequate and very weak anti-fraud system. Even our IT system, yung MIDAS na system that's supposed to be to detect fraud, is still inadequate. So it will take time before we feel it, but we are trying our best. Ang importante dyan, the resources should be allocated to it.
Okay. So, sir, because sabi nyo nga po kulang kayo ng resources, is this a lack of support from higher leadership? Saan po dapat manggaling yung impetus para makuha nyo yung tools na kailangan nyo to go after the fraudsters?
Yeah, in a way, kasi I was asking nga for that external partner, yung parang a global player sa organizational transformation. I was looking for that. I did not get support. We did not get. May kausap na kami, but in the course of our negotiations, we were told that we cannot afford them. So, yun. So, hindi natuloy yun.
So, it would entail a higher budget allocated sa PhilHealth. And given, sir, na the majority of PhilHealth's money comes from contributions, mapipiga nyo pa po ba sa contributions yung kakailanganin nyo to improve your monitoring mechanisms, or will it have to be further infusion from the government po?
I think mababawi natin yan sa reducing the loss to fraud. So if we're losing about 7.5%, and last year that's about equal to 10 billion, mababawi natin yun. Baka kikita pa tayo ng konti. So yun ang the way I look at it, how to balance the cost of that intervention.
Okay, but then sir, sabi nyo nga po, kailangan to weed out or para mabawasan yung fraud na yun, kailangan nyo muna itong technology na ito. So paano po kaya yun? Which one will come first, kumbaga?
Ngayon, right now, it will have to come from our reserves. It will have to come from our reserves.
Okay po. Then sir, you just said no, there is no reason to doubt the people working at PhilHealth. So would you say, sir, na sa buong bureaucracy ng PhilHealth, lahat po mapagkakatiwalaan, o is there anywhere within PhilHealth na sa tingin nyo kailangan imbestigahan? Kasi gaya nga po nung conditions nung nilagay kayo dyan, yun po yung pinapagawa sa inyo, internal cleansing. And you're saying that there is no reason to doubt the people working at PhilHealth. Do you just mean the executive committee, or do you mean the entire structure of the organization?
Alam mo, JC, hindi pwedeng wala. We have 6,000 employees distributed in 130 offices nationwide, and transacting 35,000 claims a day, with about 8,500 hospitals and 40,000 healthcare professionals. The statistics alone, hindi pwedeng wala. But I don't have direct evidence. Chismis meron. But that will not stand in court. Nagaling na tayo dyan eh. It will not stand in court. Actually, ang baba-baba ng batting average natin sa mga kasong I would like to avoid that. So, ang sagot ko sa iyo, hindi pwedeng wala, but we do not have evidence that I think will stand up in court.
Okay, sir. With your indulgence, so yung pagsabi niyo pong there's no reason to doubt the people working at PhilHealth, sino specifically sila, sir, that enjoy your full confidence as president of PhilHealth po?
Ito siguro sila Ma'am Shirley, sila the employees. There are many good people sa PhilHealth, hardworking, who have devoted the better part of their lives sa PhilHealth. In other words, hindi na sila pwedeng umalis sa PhilHealth at lumipat sa ibang agency kasi PhilHealth na yung buhay nila eh. They are already identified with PhilHealth. So when PhilHealth gets negative publicity, these people get hurt because they have already internalized These are the people I would like to protect because they are working ngayon nga yung mga pickers sa ospital, mga lumalabas at mga frontliners. I really appreciate them, and I really want to think that I'm staying here because I want to help, to protect and to help people like that. Hindi naman lahat, meron talagang but the vast majority, there are many good people in PhilHealth.
So sir, to your knowledge, yun lang pong
sorry, last na JC ha.
Yes, Ms. Shirley, maraming salamat.
Okay.
Ito na lang yung last question ko, sir. Kasi syempre, gaya nga ng sabi nyo, napupulaan na kayo ngayon dahil dun sa naging publicity nitong 10-hour hearing. And the senators are saying, nakukulangan lang silang makakita ng indignance or galit sa inyo kasi kada piso na nawawala sa pera ng PhilHealth is a person robbed off of the members of Filipinos who are depending on PhilHealth for their healthcare. So yun po, paano nyo po ma-explain ano po yung pwede nyong sabihin para makumbinse yung tao na kayo po ba'y galit din na may corruption? Dahil sabi nyo nga po hindi pwedeng wala. At gaano ba kalaki itong corruption nito sa sapantahan ninyo? Thank you po.
Okay. Sasagutin ko yan, ano? Of course, galit kami. Yung madaming reports ngayon, yung mga hindi namamatay sa COVID, pinapasok na COVID eh. Galit. We have told our regional vice president to be on the lookout for these hospitals that are upcasing non-COVID deaths to COVID. Si Governor Gwen, madami siyang sa Cebu, madami siyang report. We have instructed our regional vice president to really look into it. We are indignant. We are angered when we hear reports like this. But again, JC, whistleblower yan. Kung wala yung whistleblower, diba? Kaya weak nga yung system ng ano. That's why only an information system will help us dyan. Hindi tayo pwede mag-rely sa whistleblower. It's a weak anti-fraud mechanism. Okay?
Okay, thank you, JC. There is a message that was typed in, a question that was typed in by Jovicky. DOH said yesterday na after this 2-week MECQ, the goal is for patients to have zero out-of-pocket expense. May adjustment ba gagawin sa case rates? Kakayanin po ba ito? Maybe SVP Ish can answer this.
Andiyan pa ba
Yes.
si Ish?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ish. Okay.
Good afternoon po. We are actually reviewing our case rate packages for COVID. Kahit nga po yung ating testing package, kung makikita nyo, na-revise na po natin. Yun pong ating inpatient packages have undergone the review. However, we are subjecting it to an expert panel review. So external po yan because alam naman natin na pabago-bago, paiba-iba ang mga guidelines sa paggamot ng ating COVID, no? So sa ngayon po, na-establish na natin at naaprubahan na ng board yung institutionalization of an expert panel, and soon po sana po ay magkaroon na po tayo ng masimulan na yung expert panel review and mailabas na rin po yung ating revised inpatient packages. Sa ngayon po,
Sige.
Kung titingnan din po natin yung ating pong kasalukuyang packages or yung ating kasalukuyang policy pagdating sa COVID, yan po ay no copay, especially for the identified standards.
Okay. Gusto ko lang linawin kasi tinext sa akin email. Yung sinasabi natin na 7.5% loss sa fraud, sana pupunta to doon sa mga binabayaran ng PhilHealth, which are the hospitals and the hospitals and downstream of them, the healthcare professionals sa professional fee. Although hindi na natin pinapakialaman yun. So basically, saan nangyayari itong 7.5% na fraud? In the 8,500 hospitals, we have yung fraud analytics natin trying to detect mga outliers. So that is where we think this fraud is occurring. Okay, not in PhilHealth, not inside the corporation.
Okay, thank you, sir. There's a follow-up question from Sheila, but I'll just read it. How much is needed to get or hire the outside consultant and the MIDAS project? Ano na po ang na-achieve na MIDAS project? Thank you. Jovi, you might want to answer that.
Okay, so yung MIDAS, this is for now internally developed, di ba po? So, nung nag-budget po tayo because we wanted something robust, no, or big, kasi nga we wanted really to address the fraud natin, nagkaroon tayo ng isang proyekto na tinatawag natin yung machine learning. Kaya lang we were, based on our canvas, medyo malaki siya, inaabot ng 132 million. Which was really questioned, no, by Kabading during that time. Pero what we can do then is may nag-canvas ngayon. But with the new digital approach po ng ating PCO and also with the roadmap that we have, we are really going to embark into that robust fraud detection mechanism natin with the machine learning that is currently now the new technology solution available now in the market. So I think this time we should have a good estimate, no? Okay, malaki siya, then pa-approve natin sa board, and then the board will have to be oriented this time, no? Taking from the experiences that we have, the lessons that we learned, so we will have to do it good, orient properly the board, no? So for that we could be able to get a good acceptance. So we are really into that fraud, projects.
Can I add something, Doc Gigi?
Sige, Joe.
Yes, thank you for that question. Ano na ba yung nagawa nitong ating MIDAS project? Na marami na pong mga hospitals that we have investigated based on the findings of the MIDAS since 2018 po, no? At ditong 2019, we received the reports coming from this MIDAS. Yung reports na to contained the amount of possible fraud amounting to 4.7 billion. And these particular hospitals and doctors that are considered highly improbable, yung kanilang mga claims have been given to our PhilHealth regional offices for them to conduct the investigation. Kaya yung sinasabi ko po sa inyo kanina, if there is connivance or collusion between these providers and PhilHealth internal officials or employees doon sa area na hindi nalilipat ng sobrang tagal na, imagine their panic that they are now being tasked to investigate those providers that they colluded with. Di po ba? So this is very critical, no, yung results na ito. That's why ang sinasabi ko, bakit po grabe ang objection sa automation, sa modernization ng ating information technology? At bakit si Mr. Kabading lang sa lahat ng dinami-dami ng board members? Bakit si Mr. Kabading ay doing everything to prevent the modernization of our information technology? Dapat sagutin po niya yan. Bakit yung ibang board members wala namang mga questions? Di po ba? So yung ano po natin, yung atake dito sa ating information technology, tingnan nyo naman, they are comparing apples to oranges. And without hearing our explanation, they have already concluded. Ang dami pong galit na tao sa amin eh. Galit sa PhilHealth. Di po ba? Lahat mga negative comments. We are receiving death threats. Dahil po dito sa mga kasinungalingan. Dahil dito sa mga pagbibigay ng maling datos. Bakit nyo ihahambing ang ginugol nyo? Hindi nyo malang tiningnan yung TOR. Yung terms of reference, nakalagay doon yung services. Pambihira naman. Colonel Laborte, lumabas ka, huwag kang magtago. Ikaw yung Google, di ba? Lumabas ka, sabihin mo kung anong ebidensya. Sinisira mo yung mga tao, sinisira mo yung mga buhay namin, buhay ng mga pamilya namin. Tapos magtatago ka. Salamat po.
Can I add more?
Sige, Jovi.
Kasi ganito, no? Tama nga, I also felt that nung nag-umpisa na ng pagpapresent ng project, parang there's really no trust and then confidence. Maybe because sa pananaw niya na napaka-corrupt, no, the officials nung pumasok siya. But then ang tinitingnan ko, given the fact na nag-present na ng budget, na sermonan because ganito. But ang hinahanap ko is being the board of directors, one of the board director, proper balance dapat ang meron. Diba? Kung halimbawa, duda siya, may mga taong mabubuti, pero paano niya magkakaroon ka ng sariling balanse kung hindi ka as a professional will have to weigh things, no? Kung ano nangyayari sa corporation. Now, what is happening sa IT? Pag nagpe-present kami, ano ang usually nangyayari? Nabubuli kami. We are being disrespected. Even when we presented the budget doon sa auditcom, no? So pinagtatawanan niya ang mga budget. Every time na there's something na we say, nagtatawa siya. But I think, no, being an officer also, being the board director siya, dapat he should have some respect also with the people inside. Yun nga, kailangan bang pumunta ka outside and say all these things that you have? Being a board director, assess. Being the board director, you should help. Diba? Kung ano yung pagkukulang, dapat you should be helping the organization. Bakit ba yung ibang board directors, no, we're able to really strike the balance? Have a good analysis of what is happening. Nung nag-present kami ng mga delays ng project, this is what is happening in the organization. You as a board directors now must be able to assess, help. Asan ba? Board directors, ikaw kabading, you do. Recommend policies, what should be needed. Hindi yung inaano mo na yung IT to the extent na puro negative na lang po yung nilabas ninyo. I think that's not fair. It's not fair. I think you have to rethink what is your position in the organization being the board of directors, di ba? You should help. You should be able to mentor also the people. Kung puro negative tayo, walang mangyayari. Katulad nito, walang nangyari. Why is it the other boards are very supportive naman? Hindi katulad ninyo po. So I think that's the reason also why we have this kind of forum. We should improve, no? We should learn from these experiences. Sorry for that, for being honest now. Kasi it has really affected us. Imbis na nagtatrabaho yung mga IT ko ngayon para ituloy-tuloy yung project. So what is happening right now? We were being subjected to all of this na wala naman kaming masamang intensyon, no, sa ginagawa namin dito. So that's all, for the IT side, no, being the CIO of this corporation. Thank you.
Doc J.
Yes, Renette, you wanted to say something.
Yeah. Ang akusasyon sa atin ay fraud. Kung titingnan po natin, ang fraud po ay hindi sa loob ng korporasyon. Ang fraud po ay kung mayroon man, hindi sa korporasyon. Ito po ay outside the corporation. Ito po ay sa labas ng corporation. Ito po maari ay nasa ating mga hospital. Ito po maari sa ating mga professionals. And I think our hospitals, our professionals should stand up kung wala ho fraud na nangyayari sa kanilang mga facilities. Hindi po yung PhilHealth eh. Hindi ho tayo dito sa PhilHealth eh. Sila po ay dapat magsalita kung mayroon ba o wala doon sa kanilang mga hospital. Kung wala po, dapat magsalita po sila. Hindi po ito sinisira yung PhilHealth, sinisira lahat ito ng ating ang health, ang portion, ang health financing po ay sinisira sa ngayon. So I am requesting our healthcare providers, hospital at saka mga professionals na talagang alam natin na nagtatrabaho para mas mapapaayos ang sistema ng health dito sa ating bansa. Ay magsalita ho kayo kung wala po tayo, wala po sa inyo ang gumagawa ng fraud. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, thank you, Renette. I think we have mahaba na itong Presscon natin and it's time to wrap up. Hindi na natin second round yung iba. Unless there's a question that hindi pa natanong, but I think we already answered most of it. Again, as I said earlier, we are fighting here for justice and fairness. Truth is the only thing on our side. So may justice prevail. So may I ask again President Morales to close this Presscon. Sir?
Yeah, this Presscon is closed. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have said enough. Thank you very much, everyone. And hope to see you again in our next Presscon. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Salamat po.
Salamat.
Thank you very much, dear partners from the media.
Okay.
Maraming salamat po sa ating mga partners in media. Maraming salamat sa tulong po. Maraming salamat po.
CAG members, can you please stay on? Ray,
Sure,
Balena, and all the CAG. Thank you very much, everyone.